Uzanba Gogo nomkhulisani kwasendoda lesugogo Bathini Mbatha uma vula kuvala emzini noma yamadoda uanti usha number 1 locksmith sivulile iminyango 2023 throughout. As I've said, to me 2023 it was not a good year for me. It was very hard, it was very tough. I've came across many obstacles, but one thing I can rejoice about 2023, it was really ukuhluza, you know, to unpack, you know, to go deeper, to, you know, to do the ticking, what, you know, this is not working for me, this is not working for me, this works for me, I don't need this person, I don't need this person, they don't need me, whatever it is. But at least I've managed to do self-introspection. Remember the video I've done last year that talks about self-introspection, you know, to say stop blaming people, you know, stop moving blames to other people for your failures, you know, look at your inner part of you, look at yourself, and just do a proper introspection. I think for that, I would say, to be honest, actually, I think it was a good year. You know, I had to go through the difficulties that I went through in 2023 for me to be able to take a break, to sit down and do this self-introspection. So we've started with our crossover ancestral prayers. As we started on day 1, we spoke about building a relationship with yourself, which is very important. So the coming 6 days, the videos will be about the prayers that we'll be doing as we're meeting spiritually across the world in doing the prayer. Yes, people in other countries, they you know, it's a matter of Gogo. So what do we do? Do we use 12 o'clock South African time, or do we use our time zone in the countries that we are in? I think it's gonna be wise, guys, if we use the time zones of the countries that we are in, because sometimes you'll find out like guys in Kenya, they had a problem, you know. I think the time difference is around 4 hours, you know. So I think let's use the times of the countries, because if you use our time, maybe you're supposed to be at work. So it's better that people use their own what you call time zones in their countries, so that way it will balance, and now you'll feel what you are doing the right thing, rather than taking a lunch during our 12 o'clock for you to accommodate us. No. It's about you at the end of the day. It's about where you are. Remember, where you are is when your ancestors and your gods placed you. So today, midnight at 12, we are talking about relationship with ancestors. Yo, I don't know how I can talk about this, or how I can emphasize it in such a way that it will really get into our heads. You know, it will really for us to understand how it's important for us to have a relationship with our ancestors. It's a priceless achievement if you can achieve it. If you have a relationship with your ancestors, I'm telling you, you're going to achieve things that other people are dreaming of, and they will never achieve them. But because you have a relationship with your ancestors, you are able to achieve things beyond anyone's expectation. Because if you are having a relationship with your ancestors, it means wherever you go, your ancestors are with you. They are protecting you. They are making sure your health is in order. They are making sure to survive that operation. They are making sure to survive that accident. They are making sure you survive that robbery. They are making sure that you survive that hijacking. Relationship with ancestors. That's what we are focusing on today. What is the relationship, Gogo, with ancestors? Gogo, how is the relationship with ancestors going to assist me in any way? Yini le Gogo engaka in this thing called ancestors? Yini le ngaka? Kwasho Ndosi athi yini lesetshwaleni? We have another minister, Shema, like him. Ndosi. So guys, we need to have a deep and a profound relationship with our ancestors. Deep and profound. relationship with our ancestors and a consistent communication with our ancestors. You know, sometimes we expect our ancestors to perform miracles. We perform miracles in such a way which, just because of you went to your family and they are performing a sexual a ritual for you, and now you expect things to boom suddenly. No, wazala wembethe, you know, fanele kuba susiveyili lena and everything, and then you do that, you expect things to boom. You have a calling, you go through twice at the training and everything, you're done, then you're expecting your ancestors to boom. It's not going to happen. Forget it. Only if you have a relationship with your ancestors. So before, let me go a little bit for those who have a calling and haven't responded to their calling. Before you respond to your calling, make sure that you have a relationship with your ancestors, so that they are able to tell you when you get to a pehlweni ukuthi what is it that they want. But if it's not having a relationship with our ancestors, we are wasting time, money, and people's businesses. It's just a waste of time, because the ancestors, they're not going to talk to you. They're not going to tell you anything. They're not going to say anything to you, because you don't have a relationship. You hear somebody says, as soon as I go to the training and everything, they didn't come. They are not talking to me. Have you made time to talk to them? If they are not talking to you, have you made time to have a relationship with them? If they are not talking to you. Okay, you want your ancestors to talk to you because maybe you're in trouble, or you're going under a certain ritual, or you're going under a training to become a healer. So you want your ancestors to talk to you. Before you got into that position, have you made time to communicate with your ancestors, to form a profound and deep relationship with them? Or is that something that you thought in your way, okay, I've been told many times that I have a calling, so now I want to respond to my calling, but they're not talking to me. Again, you're pushing a blame to somebody, which is ancestors. You are told ukuthi you have a calling. I always, not usual, I always ask a person to say, where now, what is it that you are saying? And then most of them say, Mina Gogo, they are not saying anything to me. I don't dream, I don't do whatever, I don't do whatever. That's why I simplify it. I started with a bath, the 5-rand bath, so that it opens. It needs a chicken, a milk, and in its 5-rand. It opens. It opens. It clears up your dreams, your everything. It opens. It makes you not just to sleep, but to go on a vision of your ancestors, to go and meet your ancestors. But they are not going to talk to you all the time if you haven't made a profound decision to say, I want to form a relationship with my ancestors. I want to know, Uguti, my ancestors, what is it that they want? I'm going to reintroduce myself to my ancestors to say, this is who I am. And I'm coming to you for blessings, for guidance, for everything that you think I deserve. But the first thing that I think I need is for you to have a relationship with me, so that we are able to communicate, so that I'm able to hear you when you speak to me, so that I'm able to see a situation what this is a language of other ancestors. I've done the video, you must visit it, the language of ancestors. How are the ancestors communicating with us? Are we still expecting the big voice? Mzogolo, I come to you as your grandfather. I want you to go to Gogo Bathini Mbatha and go and take my work of being a healer. I'm asking you, my grandchild, I'll bless you, I'll give you everything that you want. No, you're wasting time. Aye, this is not Tom and Jerry cartoons kind of a situation. No, you're wasting time. No. If you're still waiting for that voice, you are in trouble. No, you'll go to the healer, or you'll speak to somebody who cares to listen to you, and then you tell them to say, yes, I went to the healer and he told me, Uguti, my grandmother is not happy about me, about the decisions that I've taken. Then the person that you're discussing with, and then they will ask you, what are you saying? No, they're not talking to me. Why are you saying that? Because you are waiting for that voice. Uguti, it will come to you for you to jump and do umsebenzi wedlozi, or to rectify or to correct the mistake that we have done. It doesn't work like that. Let's go deeper with this topic, because it's a very sensitive one, for that matter. A relationship with ancestors. Have you ever had a relationship whereby where there's a friendship, it's a love relationship, it's a relationship in terms of your business partner or your colleagues at work, or a relationship in terms of as neighbors around, but a relationship whereby a person calls you only, or they come to you, or they call you, or they engage with you only if they need something from you. If they don't want anything with you, they don't even greet you. They won't even send you a good morning message. They won't even send you a happy birthday message. They won't even say, congratulations, I saw your channel has reached 100,000 subscribers, and you got a plug from YouTube. Congratulations. They won't even say that. But when they need something from you, it's either it's money, it's support, emotional support, it's either they need a car, a transport to transport them somewhere, it's either they need a contact or whatever that they may need, then they know your number, then they know your address, then they know where to find you. If they don't have your number, they know who you are called on Facebook. You'll get that inbox. You'll get that inbox that says, I need your help. Please give me a number. I need to talk to you urgently. Urgently. Why? Because they need something from you. And if that thing has ever happened to you, how does it make you feel as an individual? It breaks my heart. Mina, it breaks my heart. It hurts me. It hurts me. And until I took a decision to say, Kamina Gawena, izandla ziyagezana. Kamina Gawena, izandla ziyagezana. In Africans at school, they used to say, "Kot vaje kot, muni kot ni heikahlel." Yeah, kot vaje kot, muni kot ni heikahlel. Kotem kota ngai kota heikahlel. Nje, kota engai kota heikahlel. I love it in Africans, and guys, this is my Africans. Please don't get me wrong. Kot vaje kot, muni kot ni heikahlel. Because why do they need you when they need something? It's because they know what you are capable of that. So split your heart on that one. Be hard on them, not to allow them to use you, and be happy when you're on your own to say, okay, they know what I'm capable of this. They know the reason they are looking for me for this information, for what other people, they call you when they are doing thesis, and when you call them that you want a contact and everything in a faculty of whatever, they give you stories. You send them 10 emails and everything. You gave them hours and hours of your time, Gogo Bathini, when they are doing their thesis. But when you need some small information, you have to beg them. It works the same in ancestors. If you think you're going to kneel down on your yellow and blue only when you have a problem, you'll never get a response. Trust me. I don't care. You can go to Mozambique, you can go to Ghana and everything. You'll never find help. If you're going to treat ancestors as a tool, after you've used that tool, you throw it there. How many people have they ever went home, or whenever, how many people do you know, or how many times have you ever went to look for where your grandparents used to stay? Not because of you are going through difficulties, but simply because of you want to form a relationship. You want to know what happened, what is going on with them. Are they okay? When last or where have you heard of somebody doing a ritual just to ask their ancestors if bona are they okay now? When have you ever heard of a person going to a healer for a healer for consultation in trying to find out, okay, is my mom okay wherever she is? Is my dad okay wherever she is? Yes, most of the time, there's a lot of lies. I won't lie to you. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of lies most of the time because other healers, they will do the proper work. And most of the healers, they do that. But you find those healers that they will say there is a problem. Because why? They're thinking Mashankuran, which is not fair. But why to get yourself in that? Because inside you, you haven't built that relationship with your ancestors. So you will going to listen to everything that Tom and Jerry has to say outside there. But if you start within the family to say, let's say there's still an elder in your family, and then you find out how things were done like her and everything. Then they will tell you, no, your grandfather used to slaughter a goat every Christmas, and then he will invite the grandchildren, the children, and everything. What? Gogo, why are you no longer doing that and everything? It's small things that you have in building a relationship with ancestors. You may as well go to an extent of saying, besides me doing ancestral prayer ukphahla for certain things in my life, every year on my birthday, I'm going to start my own 7 days in finding out from my ancestors if they are okay wherever they are. And then during the year, I'll always make sure ukuthi I do well so that my ancestors are proud of me at the end of the day. Woo! Imagine if we can do that. Just imagine if we can do that. It will be amazing. We're going to have good lives. So whenever you go to report on your ancestors, no one will say, where were you all these times? All these years, where were you? We've been struggling. We've been eating in other people's functions, rituals. Where were you? Where did you think we were eating, with clothing and everything? Who was protecting you? We were there for you throughout the year. That man was supposed to kill you. That woman was supposed to kill you. That boyfriend was supposed to kill you. That girlfriend was supposed to kill. That was supposed to happen when we protected you. But you've never recognized us. You called us demons. When? Because you went to church and then you were convinced to say we are demons. Then you, headache. How are they speaking that to you? Not the way I'm pronouncing it. Not the way I'm saying it. By actions. What actions, Gogo? They keep quiet. Then you come, Gogo, the dreams that do happen, I do see the dreams, but whenever I see my grandmother, I can tell which my grandmother is angry at me. I can see my grandfather, I can tell that my grandfather, I can see my sister, I can see my child, whoever who has passed on into your family. You can see them, but they're not talking. But their silence, it speaks volume. So, the sooner you start, it's the better. The sooner, the better. It's never too late, because we don't know when we're going to die. What if you're going to live until 200 years? It's possible. It's rare, but it's possible. And maybe you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, you're in your 20s. So it's up to you if you want to start that relationship with your ancestors or you want to let it go. If you don't want to start that relationship with ancestors, as we are starting it tonight at midnight, on the 1st of January 2024 at midnight, as we are starting, as today we are all going to start with that prayer to say, ancestors, we want to engage with you. We are taking this time to invite you into our lives. Be with me throughout. Be with my children throughout. Be with my family throughout. Be with my sick mother throughout. Be with my sick dad throughout. Whatever you're asking for. My child is going for matric this year. Be with her or him. We need to ask. We need to beg for protection, for a relationship. We are building a relationship. We are not saying cure them. Now, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking that allow us to have a relationship with you, so that it's easier for us to ask you if we need help. Ancestors also seek for help sometimes. It's not only us that needs help. Sometimes ancestors need help. As I was with a guy from Cape Town yesterday. Her mom passed on in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Till yesterday, on the 31st of December, her mom is not an ancestor yet. She's still on this side yet. She hasn't crossed over as yet. Because there are things that her mom requires for her to be allowed to go inside and join others. Let me repeat it. You'll forgive me, guys, with my broken English, but please, his mom is still on this side. She has just passed on. Where she is, she doesn't have any control whether the blessing, the complaint, what, because of their rituals at home that they were never performed. As soon as they perform these rituals for her, then she will go and join the rest of the family. Then they are called ancestors. They are called amadlozi. At this moment, she's just itongo. Amatongo means it's anyone in the family that has passed on. But idlozi is the ones that are immediate. Two are the ones that the rituals were performed by their family in giving them blessings and key to unlock the doors to be an ancestor. They haven't done that. What he said he's cancelling the trip to Cape Town. He's going home. He's going to sit down with the grandmother. This thing needs to be done because it's long overdue. Guess what? It has nothing to do with me. Gogo, how it's done, grandmother will guide you in terms of how things were done in this family. It has nothing to do with Gogo Bathini Mbatha. You see, I didn't come up with a ritual that will require Gogo Bathini Mbatha to go and do it. Yes, other rituals, they do it. It does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But this one, it didn't need to happen that way. It didn't. Then what happened? He's going to sit down with the grandmother. Then they're going to do it. Then other things that we've discussed. And things to do what? Open. Forming a relationship with your ancestors, it's priceless action. You will see the difference as time goes. You will see the response. You'll be able to burn a yellow and blue candle one day. Maybe on Friday they say to you, or maybe they're calling you on Thursday. They say, Friday there's a hearing. That hearing we were postponing. We're sitting on Friday. You're able to at midnight to burn yellow and blue candle and pray with it. and pray with it and talk to your ancestors to say, they just came. Suddenly, boom, they just came. They just came. They just called to say hearings tomorrow. I'm not prepared. I don't have anyone to represent me. But I know you are there for me. Please come with me. You get to a hearing. They say this case is dismissed. There's no enough evidence. You must come back to work first thing tomorrow. Or you can start now, immediately. Full stop. Go to court, same thing. Go to maintenance court, same thing. Why? You have a relationship with your ancestors and they know Uguchi, you have the upper hand because you are being honest. I'm not talking about we must go and steal or we must not support the children and we think the ancestors will protect us. Ancestors, they are not, there's no room in their head that the lights are not going on. They are well here, upstairs here. So we cannot do stupid things or committing crime or abusing people because of Tina. We are depending on ancestors. Remember, your ancestors, they have family where they are. They have neighbors where they are. They have other relatives where they are. And guess what? They talk to each other before when you talk to this other person. They talk. They already know what to do. Patla, yellow and blue candle, still available. If you call the office, we know we had problems with our lines, but from Wednesday everything will be running smooth in terms of the bookings. And on the note of communicating with ancestors, there's good news. For the longest of time, if it happens that I speak to somebody over the phone, if it happens that they found me on my phone, which is 083-533-9183, 083-533-9183. If it happens they find me in that number, most of the time I could tell Uguti, what is your problem? Most of the time. However, I felt Uguti, I needed to be guided for me to be able to do a telephonic consultation. Remember, this calling is not mine. It's not mine. Ngiphathisiwe kuthiwa bambala. Bambala. If I do it my own way, they will take it at any time. Then I'll be history. This calling is not mine. The calling that you have is not yours. The owner is the owner. Gogo, who's the owner? The owner is the person within your ancestors who is guiding you, who is telling you what is happening. That is the owner. And they have chosen you because of they trust you to do that work. I used to do consultation for 5 rand. 5 rand. Listen, 5 rand. Maybe you don't hear me. 5 rand. And I had to burn 7 candles per day. So if I consulted 4 people, it's 20 rand. I can't buy 7 candles that day. The frustration that came with that. But I waited. I went to 50 rand. I went to 100 rand. I went to 200 rand. I've been in 200 rand since 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously, the prices of personal consultation and online are going to be totally different. But I'm glad I waited. I waited. In having a relationship with my ancestors, I knew one day they are going to respond to say, or they are going to allow me, or they are going to tell me to say, now you are ready to be able to do a consultation over the phone. If somebody requires that, because other people are sick, they cannot travel. That's what my grandmother said. Because the question was, ore aye guy, kutla ujwetsa motho ko phone gore tshwantse atle ko wena if akula or atle jwang ko wena akula kelelo ya ha inga jwang wena atine atsoka munyako. Then I've realized to say, oh, now we can talk over the phone and find out what problem is. But you need to be and to have your own private space when you do that, because that is not for public consumption. That consultation, you have to make sure Uguti, it's in a quiet, it's in your own space. If it means a toilet, let it be, but because it's not for public consumption. It has nothing to do with your partner, your husband, your wife. It is your own consultation, and you need to respect it. Because when I do it on this side, there's a lot of preparations, Nami, that I'm going to do, so that when it reaches you, your ears, you can feel as if you were here in person. Gogo Bathini Mbatha mavula kuvaliwe emzini mayemadoda u-Auntie Usha. Remember, today we are praying ngokuthi having a relationship with your ancestors. Build a relationship with your ancestors. Maintain a relationship with your ancestors. Be consistent in talking to ancestors. I'm not saying talk to your ancestors every day. Do you know what you can actually do? But by not going down on your knees with yellow and blue candle. When you drive, you can speak to your ancestors. Whenever you are alone, you can speak with your ancestors. I used to ask my dad, Baba, my dad was a beast. So you needed to really practice when you're going to ask him a personal question. So I said, hey, dear, Baba, Baba, akhuluma yedwa. Angikhuluma ngedwa. Ngizokhuluma nomkhulu wakho noma nogogo wakho. He said so. I'm not talking alone. Whenever I'm alone, I'm in the presence. That's what he said. Whenever he's alone, he's in the presence of ancestors. So at any given time, he can speak to them. And he started at the early age, as he said, he started just speaking with his heart, but it ended up just speaking. Now we're in the days whereby we have hands-free. So if you are in your car alone and everything, you can speak to, nobody will say you are mad. We will think that you are on the phone and you are speaking to your ancestors. It's not always the case that you go down on your knees unless there's something specific and everything. But for general communication, you just speak. Just speak. You're working at a toxic environment at work. When you get to the gate and say, Nina bagiti nina wakoko nomkhulu. Nina shinshanzo moya ngena nami manje. Ngicela bonke amabutho wonke izalukazi namakhehla athi balwa balizimpi athi babimela into yabo. Ngicela ngene nami manje. Now I'm getting into this toxic environment. I invite all my ancestors to be with me. All of them. All of those ancestors whom I have the best interest in their hearts. Please show yourself. I'm getting into this toxic house now. I'm getting to this toxic shop. I'm getting to this toxic business. I'm going to talk with these toxic staff members. Please be with me. Please be with me. They will. They will definitely will. They will definitely will. Remember, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. Your ancestors are there with you. And we're also here with you. I'm taking time out of my time, out of my family time. I'm using my data just to come to you and say, let's meet spiritually. Because if we do this together, it's the better. We are going to achieve better than we can achieve alone. This prayer speaks volume. I can feel it yesterday to say, in the midst of fireworks and gunshots and whatever, but I could still feel it in my heart to say, this thing that we are doing is powerful. Because there's no price tag on it. There's no money that that is required to transfer to Gogo Bathini Mbatha for this prayer to be successful. No. And guys, thank you so much for all the messages that you send me. Yes, I do receive negative messages, insults, and everything. I do. But what I like about it, they are even not I think 0.1% out of 100%. You wishing me well every time throughout the year. You showing gratitude of what I'm doing. You coming here, Emakhosini, and ask me. You know, later last year, it was an amazing moment and a very emotional moment because I had couples, individuals that said, Gogo, we know you. Gogo, how are you? Now we're asking you. Couples who came here just to ask me. There's a lady who flew from Dubai, left her children there, left her husband there, and said, I need to talk to Gogo Bathini. She came here and said, Gogo ngati ma, what is wrong? Talk to me. There are people who are able to pick up because of why we have a profound and true relationship as subscribers, as viewers of this channel. We are a family. Imagine, I'm not saying the one from Dubai is better than others, but imagine spending R1 for me, just for you to come and say, Gogo, today, yes, here's your candles, here's 200 Rand for consultation, but I came to ask you, or I came for my things, but also to ask you, Gogo, how are you? Guys, thank you. I would like to thank you for all the support throughout the years, all the great messages, all wishing me well, whether it's my birthday, whether it's Christmas, whether it's a New Year, or throughout the year. Every day I get thank you. I get so much blessings. May the same that you wish for me to happen to you, to grow, to have a better understanding, spiritually and otherwise. I'm very, very, very grateful, and trust me, that's what fuels me to be able to make time in the midst of problems that I'm facing, in the midst of it, but to make time to say, I have a message to deliver. And please allow me, when I'm in that low point in my life whereby I can't even speak, because I don't want to come here and be too emotional while you are emotional. My calling is for me to uplift your spirit, to make sure that I give you hope and I give you solutions for what you are facing. As I've said earlier, mina ngiphathisiwe. This is not my calling, guys. No. And at any given time, it will be taken away from me if I don't do right. Yes, I'm human. I do mistakes. And I go down on my knees to say, please forgive me. I was wrong there. Please forgive me. Because I'm also begging this, because they have told me straight, you will never go back to employment. So if they take this away from me, it means I'm going straight to the streets. Who wants that? No one. No one. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you for contributions in terms of subscribing, sharing the videos to other people. It has really made so much difference. That's why even if you come here and I can't help you, I take you to somebody that can help you. And I pay because you've paid me. And I couldn't. Then I take you to somebody that can do that. In closure, I know I may sound like a politician today. If you have a good relationship with yourself, which is what you spoke about yesterday, in closing, and you have a good relationship with your ancestors, whatever you do else, things will fall into places. Wahambile olanda scoop sakho will work even better because you have a relationship with yourself. You have a relationship with your ancestors. So when you take something, when you take something from Gogo Bathini. Let's say you take a scoop sezita. Sitagiwe with all the ingredients to fight enemies, enemies that you know, self-invited enemies and everything. When you fetch this and you don't have a relationship with yourself, you don't have a relationship with your ancestors, I don't care how much you've paid, it will never work. And you can't blame the person that gave you a scoop sezita or a scoop sentlanta to say whatever you gave me, it doesn't work. You can't. You can't. You can't. What have you done at your corner to make sure when you are well equipped? Let's go deeper. Today I have time. You get two types of group for enemies. Both of them are for enemies, these ones. I'm just giving an example for these ones. This one, it's empty inside. Normally it has a substance inside, a liquid substance inside, that you do this and you drip it off on whatever that you're going to use for steaming. And as you drip it off like this, you talk to it to say what is that you want to see happening into your enemies, right? That is this one, number one. Then you finish, you do your steaming and whatever you've done. This one, you open it. This one, then you talk to it. This one you curse on it. Both of them, they will never work. Even if we're talking about the one for businesses, the one for what, they will never work when it comes to if ever you don't have a relationship with yourself, you don't have a relationship with your ancestors. But after the 7 days, I'm going to do another video whereby I'm going to detail deeper and deeper and deeper in terms of why other things do not work for you. Then you end up saying, Gogo, I think mood is not working for me. It might not work for you, I agree. However, there will be something that makes mood not to work for you. It's not a topic for today. Today we were talking having a relationship with your ancestors. It's priceless. We have a pocket size book, 45 pages, laminated cover, meaning you can put it in your bag. You can always read and read and read and read. You are able to give it to your children, to leave it to children, as Ubaba Credo Mota saying, I'm talking old, historically truth. That is his code. Because this thing, most of the time, we take it as and everything. No. No. Book still available at the office, booking lines. Don't forget to make your order. It's only 100 Rand and then 60 Rand for Pexi deliveries. Salwa sendo to Gogo Bathini Mbatha.